Hey everybody, welcome back to CF's Heroes of Sport. My name is Bob Babbitt, co-founder of Challenged Athletes Foundation, and every week we get to meet some of the most amazing challenged athletes on the planet. Our guest this week, Mr. Anthony Pone, who is only one of the world's best wheelchair basketball players. How you doing, Anthony?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
When did you decide to go into the military, and what led to that?
Actually, I decided to go in the military in the year 2000. I really wanted to provide a solid foundation for me and my daughter, and I wanted to tour the world and learn a trade that can help other people.
And did you have family history from military? So dad, grandfather, were those guys in the military too?
Well, actually, my grandfather was in the military, and my cousin and my uncle, they both retired Navy.
Aha. So there's a little reason to be going in. I like that.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And so you were based in 2002, Fort Lee, Virginia.
Yes, sir.
Crappy weather, stormy, your car hydroplaned, you crashed. You were trapped in the car for 3 hours?
Yes, sir. 3 hours.
Wow. And you knew you were hurt bad.
Well, actually, I can't remember anything from the accident. I don't recall anything, but from what I was told, they had to cut me out of the car, and then I went into shock immediately, and then I was medevaced to the Richmond VA.
And you had your leg amputated above the knee?
Yes, both legs were crushed, and they was able to save the left leg, but the right leg had gangrene, and it was progressing pretty fast. So the best option was to have it amputated.
So as an athlete, a guy who played basketball growing up, and did you see yourself, did you find a sport fairly quickly, or did that take a while after the accident?
After I was injured, and then I was rehabilitated, and then I came home from the Richmond VA, sports was not in my mind. It was far from my mind because I didn't think I would be able to be active again as far as being athletic. And I was trying to find different things, to make my life more full. And one of those things was going back to school. I found my education at Community College of Philadelphia, and then that's when I started to get onto adaptive sports, and I went to the Veteran Games.
Yeah.
And they introduced me to wheelchair basketball. Fell in love with it. I came back to Philadelphia, played with my local team for a half a year, and then out of nowhere I started getting scholarship offers for playing wheelchair basketball, which I didn't think was even possible.
It's so cool.
And then I had the opportunity to move to Texas, so to play wheelchair basketball at the University of Texas at Arlington. So I took the opportunity and I moved forward with it, and I started to get serious with wheelchair basketball.
It's interesting, because I'm betting, as a guy who played basketball as an able-bodied guy, when you first see the game, you're probably thinking, "Oh, that doesn't look that hard. Those guys are okay." But yeah, I'm a real basketball player. Was there a moment where you're out there playing wheelchair basketball where you realized these guys are pretty good?
Before I seen the game, and so people were trying to explain it to me and encourage me to go out, I was thinking to myself, like, this game cannot be as competitive as the able-bodied game.
Yeah.
They put me in a chair, boy, I was wrong. I was totally wrong. I said, I'm not going to be as good as I thought I was going to be without practice. And that was one of the reasons that I went to the University of Texas at Arlington, because the game is so high paced, it's so fast, it's so athletic, and you really have to train hard to be good at it. And I was up for the challenge.
So you played with the Dallas Mavericks wheelchair team, and then you get some offers to go overseas. Did you ever have any idea that, as a basketball player when you're younger, you probably weren't getting offers to go play basketball overseas?
No. No. My first offer, I couldn't believe it. It was like I didn't know if it was a joke or what, but I got several emails and they were saying, could you come to our team and play? And this is what we'll offer, and this is what it will be like to be over. And I started talking to the more veteran, the more seasoned players that have had that experience, and they were like, you should do it. You should go. And it was just an unbelievable experience. I didn't think a plane ticket was going to come. A plane ticket came. I was on a plane. I still didn't believe it. I flew into Geneva, Switzerland,
Yeah.
and then I meet my coach, and then I meet the athletic director, and it's still an unbelievable experience.
So you could play, you get offers to play overseas in Italy, Germany, and then France is where you decided to play. Why France?
I just love France. France, I was always fascinated with France, and there's a lot of words that we use in the English language that carry over to the French language, and so it was just like I just wanted to like fulfill some of my dreams that I had as being younger. You know, some of the things you think you'll never be able to do, and wheelchair basketball provided that opportunity.
So you were a professional athlete. You were getting paid to play basketball.
They paid me. They gave me they gave me a villa of my own, and they gave me a brand new car with 0 miles on it. I'm still not believing any of this at this time.
Yeah. What was the competition like? Because you're playing other professional teams. This has got to be the highest level competition there is.
It's pretty high paced. It's pretty high paced. And I lived in the mountains. I lived in the Rhone Alps when I first came there. So it's like you have to acculate to the high climate. So it was pretty challenging. But after a few weeks, I caught on, and that's when I realized I have to work. I worked really hard in college, so I had to work twice as hard when I went to the professional level.
What do you look at as the best game you ever had when you were playing in France?
I hit a buzzer beater shot against a team from Bordeaux. It went down to like 3 seconds, and I had the ball in my hand, and I knew that it was going in, but I didn't even think about how many seconds was left, and there's no more shots after this. I just took the shot with all confidence because it's the thing that I practiced on and on and on. And then it came to that moment where I had to do it, and everything worked out. And I was at home. This is a home game. So the whole gym was going crazy. And I have all these French people saying, Anthony, Anthony.
Cool. So as much as you love France, in 2017, Team USA is playing at the Invictus Games, and France is playing. You had to make a choice. You were going to play with France, you're going to play with the US. Was that a hard choice?
Not at all. I love my French people, but I'm an American at the end of the day, so I have to represent my flag.
And in those Invictus Games, you guys beat France,
Yes.
and then you beat Netherlands and win the gold medal. How special was that?
That was very special. It was a tough game. We were challenged every step of the way. I played against some of the more polished players on that team, on the Netherlands team, that played against me in France, and I beat them. So that was even more of a plus.
So when did you connect with Challenged Athletes Foundation and Operation Rebound?
I connected with Nico in 2013. It was more like 2014, 2015 actually. I was doing shot put because that's my second love. That's actually what I'm training for right now. Hopefully I'll make the US Paralympic team to go to Tokyo. But I needed some help with as far as like materials and supplies and equipment. And the first thing I did, everyone told me to go online, do the application, and I thought it was going to be a lengthy process. It really wasn't. And it was just like the anticipation of meeting everybody, the anxiety. And then Nico calls me out of the blue, and he's the most comforting person, and he talked to me like we knew each other for years, and he asked me what I needed and everything, and then that's how we started.
And so now in San Diego, you play with the Wolfpack?
I play with the San Diego Wolfpack.
How fun has that been?
Oh, it's great. It's great. It's like every time you join a new team, it's like learning the game all over again. You know, and you're actually playing with your brothers that actually serve with you in the Army and or in the Marines or whatever branch that they served in. And you might not know them before you started playing wheelchair basketball, but it's a certain bond that's always there. And it's like you know them forever. And they still have those values that we learned while we was in the military. So it's like we're kind of like a family.
So you mentioned Paralympics. Had
Yes.
you thought of playing wheelchair basketball in the Paralympics, or is it mainly shot put now?
It's shot put. My aim was always to be a shot putter. And for to be a Paralympian.
Yeah. And how far have you thrown the shot?
My furthest throw was 13.3 meters.
Very cool. Hi, and you've been obviously since you've been injured, you've seen a growth in adaptive sports. How much has adaptive sports changed, and how much more recognition for a sport like wheelchair basketball is there now than there was back in the day?
Well, since I started, when I first started, it didn't seem like everybody know about the sport itself, but being in the sport for these few years, it's like it seems like everyone is like it's like a community. It's like everyone is striving to get better. Like this is not a sport to be slept on. Like everyone is working extremely hard and it's like a big community within itself that's like growing, and everybody wants to see like where the game is going next. So everybody is trying to be their best. Like it's not just one good player now. Now it's like everybody's good now. And it's like getting a lot of attention around the nation.
So for the Paralympics being moved a year from 2020 to 2021, you think that was a positive or a negative for you in terms of potentially making the team?
Potentially making the team, I think it was a plus for me because my will and my dedication, and I'm really working hard when like through this pandemic, it's just like you can sit back and be depressed or complain about what's not going right or what you need, but it's a blessing in disguise because you really get to hone down on your craft and like really like work as hard as you possibly can. And before I go any further about that, I like to thank Challenge Athlete Foundation because for like helping us through this pandemic, because they're still making things happen for me because I'm getting more equipment and I'm getting more opportunities to train through the Challenge Athlete Foundation.
How have you been able to stay focused during the pandemic in terms of still getting your training in and finding places to train? And it's been difficult.
Yes. Well, I'm training at the YMCA, and then I have a yard in my girlfriend's backyard, so I throw the shot put out there as much as I can, and then we play basketball at Crown Point on the beach.
Yes.
Yes, and SCSU has opened their doors to us on the weekends, so that's a blessing in disguise.
If somebody had told you after your accident, hey, you know what? You're going to end up being a professional wheelchair basketball player. You're going to live in France. You're going to travel the world. And this horrific accident, there's going to be a silver lining to this horrific accident, what would you have said?
I would have said, "You got to be kidding me." I would have laughed in their face boldly.
That is so cool.
It's,
Do you have a favorite CAF moment?
my favorite CAF moment is doing the gut check fitness Wednesday when I was flipping tires around and just going after it with the physical training and everything with everybody else.
I love it. Hey, Anthony, thank you so much for being part of the CAF Operation Rebound family. Thanks for joining us on our Heroes of Sports show. It's an honor to get to chat with you.
Oh man, it's a pleasure, and I appreciate you guys for having me on so I can tell my story. It's truly a blessing what you're doing for us athletes that's really trying to go after it and get our goals and our dreams accomplished. I appreciate you.
And I look forward to seeing you in Tokyo.
I look forward to seeing me in Tokyo. I believe it.
I believe it too. Anthony Pone has been our guest from Operation Rebound. Again, this is CAF's Heroes of Sport. We'll check you guys out next time. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it.
Anytime.